Yeah, well, my husband is too. All right, there we go.
For blue of streams and blue of sky, for pleasant shades of branches high, for fragrant air and cooling breeze, for beauty of the blooming trees. For each new morning with its light, for rest and shelter through the night, for health and food, for love and friends, for everything your goodness sends. Spirit, we thank
Good morning on this snowy morning. Loving that. I'm the Reverend Sasha Ostrom, the minister here at the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and it is wonderful to be with you once again as we gather together for worship, for lifting up that which is of worth in this great common life we all share. And as we settle in on this hour on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, let's go ahead and pause and center our minds and our hearts for around this month's November's theme of nurturing gratitude. And we begin with words by the Reverend Jane E. Maudlin. And please join me by saying responsively with the words, "We give thanks this day after each of my statements. For the community gathered here, for the Spirit that called us together and drew us to this place, we give thanks this day. For moments we have shared with others, for times when we have reached out across barriers of distance and fear, for times when others have reached out to us, for moments when we have discovered another along our path, we give thanks this day. For this community of celebration and growth, introspection and solitude, for those moments of peace that passes all understanding, we give thanks this day. For our gathering together out of distant places, for our weaving together out of our many separate selves this hour of celebration and worship, we give thanks this day. And come, my friends, and let's worship together.
Yeah, I need to get up on the steps. Okay. Good morning. I'm Beverly Hayes, one of our worship associates, and it's time now for us to light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. We need a volunteer to come up and light the chalice flame. Wow, good, thank you. You got it? Uh-oh, we have to light it again. All right, just a moment. I knew that was going to happen.
Sometimes the wax puts out the flame.
Okay. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the shining of this hallowed time together that sustains us. And now please stand as you're able for our affirmation by James Vila Blake. Repeat each line after me, which helps our youngest members participate even if they don't read yet. Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
And service is its law.
And service is its law.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another.
And to help one another.
Thank you. Please join us now for our opening hymn. And if any junior worship helpers would like to lead our hymn, please come up now with your gray hymnal. Our opening hymn today is number 349, We Gather Together. Guess not. Good morning again, and welcome. Welcome especially to any newcomers and returning members of our community, and anyone who joined us online today. Hi, George. If you're tuning in live on YouTube, please say hi. And in the chat room, if you haven't already, we're delighted to have you with us. We're a community of many ages, but we all worship together. You can join us many ways on Sundays, including online, here in the sanctuary, or from the many rooms in our building where we live stream the service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to our family room for families with little ones, which is located out of our doors and to your right, that way and that way. You want to soothe the crying infant or get the wiggles out, our service is line streamed there, so you won't miss a thing. Kids of all ages are always welcome in our services, but we offer childcare as an additional option for families with small children ages 9 months to 5 years. Parents, if you find yourself in need of childcare at any point during the worship today, please bring your little one to room A in our Gateway Center. Again, welcome everyone here with us today. We're glad you're here.
All right, I have my Wonder Box today. Anyone want to guess what it is? Nope, it's not a guess for you two. What do you think? Oh, not a whole lot of sound. Don't want to shake it too hard. Mohan? What do you think it is? No, you don't have a guess? You think paper? All right, that's a good guess. All right, you want to open it? No, okay, here. Grace, you want to open it for me? All right, here. I'll walk all over. Giving Sheila a workout today, working the cameras. Right, what's in there? Some donuts. All right, I'm going to talk about our donut today.
Boy, you're going to be popular.
I know. I'm bribing everyone today. So, today, what is our theme this month? Who remembers, kids? Adults? Gratitude. It's Thanksgiving, right? There we go. So why do you think I have donuts, besides my obvious thankfulness for donuts, with us today? Because they're delicious? All right. Look at this donut. What do we notice about a donut? Tell me some characteristics of the donut. It's round. There's a good one. Yeah, you can just yell them out. They're yummy. Colorful. There's a hole in the middle. Here's, Jason got it right. There we go. So, I'm going to take out this one. Don't eat these, okay? Listen, I'm going to put these out at a social hour, and I got munchkins, okay? So everyone calm down. All right. Donut has a hole in the middle. And sometimes, so this donut represents thankfulness, right? And sometimes, when we look at things we have in life, the first thing we notice is the hole, right? We go, oh, I could have a whole donut, but there's a hole in the middle there. There's a lot of people in life. And sometimes I'm like that, where I go, what's the bad thing about this, instead of what's the good thing about this, right? And so when we're thankful and when we show gratitude, and we do it with joy and excitement, we can look at this and go, oh, it's got sprinkles and strawberry frosting. It's nice and pillowy. It does look like a little bit of a victim of shrinkflation in here, but that's all right. It looks pretty good. When we do gratitude, when we show gratitude with joy, we can see all the good in life, and it's actually very good for us. And Reverend Sasha is going to talk about it a little bit more, all right? So pay attention to that. Okay? Sounds good. Okay.
Thanks, Nick. All right, it's time for our milestones and passages. You know, sometimes we come to this place on Sundays with a a lot on our hearts. Maybe you're going through something really hard right now, or maybe you have a special joy in your life. And children have joys and sorrows too, things that make you happy or sad. Whatever your age and whatever the joys and sorrows of your own life, you can share them in our service by filling out our milestones and passages form before 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. And that form can be found in our newsletter as well as paper versions of it, which you can find on your way in through our doors. This morning, we do not have any milestones or passages to share that people have submitted. However, we do have a very special gratitude to share today. So Nan, please come on up.
Good morning, everyone. Can I have the board members that are here come up for me? Carolyn, Sarah, Tim, if you can hear me, come on up. And Diana Hart, would you please come forward? There's one. See, good. Right there. We want you to have your age thing.
It's appropriate.
All right. Diana Hart is a beloved and familiar face to anyone who has enjoyed coffee hour after the service, attended a buffet meal, or had any of her hors d'oeuvres in Chew Hall. She's been a professional caterer for only over 30 years, and when she moved to Morris Plains in 2022, joined the Morristown UU Fellowship and jumped right into the community. Carolyn Evans has written a lovely article about Diana's journey that will be in next week's newsletter. Take my word that it's an inspiring story for an inspiring woman. When she joined us, Diana soon found a need to fill and started working with Sandra Persichetti in setting up the new kitchen in Chew Hall. Her advice and assistance helped immensely, and when Chew Hall opened in November 2024, Diana graciously offered a year's commitment to develop kitchen and catering procedures and develop a program to train volunteers in hospitality and kitchen skills. This program, known as the Green Aprons, has trained over 30 attendees, resulting in over a dozen Green Apron helpers and giving many other attendees basic knowledge in how our new kitchen functions. Under Diana's guidance, they have worked at over 30 events, including Super Sundays, coffee hours, memorial services, 2 service auctions, and several rental events. I'd like to thank those who have become Green Aprons under Diana's training and ask them to stand and be recognized for their work. We appreciate your work and your volunteerism. Thank you. As Diana's one-year commitment to the intensity of starting up a kitchen and all the associated procedural developments comes to a close, she looks forward to processing the experience, saying, "It's time to take stock of the progress we've made during the past year. It's been a period of growth and change for everyone at MUF, with more to come. Our future looks brighter thanks to Diana's leadership." Diana, the work you've done and the Green Apron program is a gift to all of us at MUF. We are truly grateful for your hard work this year, and we look forward to your continued mentorship of other volunteers who will step up to fill your shoes. We're glad you're going to have a chance to just be a member of the fellowship and get to attend services instead of just spending the time in the kitchen. Here's a token of appreciation and heartfelt thanks.
Back to the kitchen. All right, let's take a quiet moment now for the prayers and meditations of our own hearts. This is a reminder of something that we should take a little bit of time to do, maybe every day, even if just for a few moments. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let yourself settle into your chair. Just kind of feel your body sinking into your chair. Maybe feel your feet underneath you. Take a few moments to focus your attention on your breath, just letting it move in and out of your chest, all the way down deep into your belly. Maybe hear the breaths of the people around you, this community that holds you. Feel the spirit of life and love holding all of us in this still moment together. And let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths together all the way down into our bellies, and then we'll enter into a moment of silence. Amen, and blessed be. Now let's go ahead and please remain seated as we sing number 402 from You I Receive. And it's a fun thing that happened in our class last week. Our preschoolers just learned this song, so we may have a chance at some point in the future for them to teach it to us. They learned some sign language with it, but for today we're just going to do it as a round.
So we're going to sing it all together one time, and then that half of the is going to start, and then this half will come in on the I give to. All right? So let's go ahead and try it all together. Ready, sing. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. To you I receive, and to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Our reading this morning is by Reverend Naomi King, entitled Thankful Dogs. Once there was, and once there was not, a family of dogs. Like many dog families, there were dogs that had wandered off the street, and dogs with fine pedigrees, and dogs from the shelter, and dogs who had been born into the family. They ran together, they played together, they tumbled together in great furry masses of tails and snouts and paws, and they loved each other very much. Even if sometimes they growled at one another, and even if sometimes they worried about enough biscuits from the tin on the counter, even if some dogs didn't feel good and snapped at one another, they loved each other very much. Each night, as the moon rose, The family of dogs went outside and sat in the circle on the soft grass and watched the moon rise and looked into each other's eyes and wagged their tails. It was a doggy thing to do. Then, when the moon was a dog's tail above the horizon, the eldest dog would bay loudly at the moon. And what do you think that dog was baying about? The eldest dog was telling the other dogs and the moon and the whole world what he was thankful for. He was baying, "Thank you for this day, for the running and the jumping. Thank you for the biscuits and the tasty treats. Thank you, little brown dog, for nosing the ball my way. Thanks for being able to sing. Thanks for this and everything." Then the youngest dog would point her nose to the moon and begin to bay. And she was saying, "Thank you, wonderful sun, that warmed my back. Thank you, fragrant frangipani, so sweet." I don't know what a frangipani is. "Thank you, pack of dogs, for wiggly dances. Thank you for the ringing ice cream truck. Thanks for this and all my luck." Then one dog after another would join the baying, saying their thanks until they were all singing together and to the moon. But they saved the best for last and howled together, "Thank you, Mother, and thank you, Father. Thank you, sister, thank you, brother. Thank you, neighbor, and thank you, friend. Thank you, stranger, and thank you, world." We share our thanks for every being, whether near or far, no matter who, no matter where, no matter what you are. Thanks. They did this no matter what the weather, no matter how many or how few of the family was home, no matter how they felt. The dog family gathered together each and every night to greet the moon and share their thanks. So let's share their thanks, their circle of gratitude. Please repeat after me. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Father. Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, neighbor. Thank you, friend.
Thank you, neighbor. Thank you, friend.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you, world.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you, world.
We share our thanks for every being, whether near or far.
We share our thanks for every being, whether near or far.
No matter who, no matter where, no matter what you are.
No matter who, no matter where, no matter what you are.
Thanks. We come now to the time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer our gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do here together possible and also make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money we collect to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian Universalist values in a world that needs them more now than ever. Today's offering will be split 50-50 with Side with Love, the organizing strategy team of the Unitarian Universalist Association. We harness the power of love to confront and transform systems of oppression and build a world where all people can thrive. You may give in our collection plate or by following the instructions printed in your order of service and shown on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generosity.
I like that howl. All right, so here we are with another Thanksgiving under our belt. A season of gratitude and a season of shopping chaos. So this year I was fortunate to miss the Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday frenzies, but unfortunately I found myself caught up in the pre-Thanksgiving chaos when I went to the grocery store. And as I headed into the store, my mind was completely full of happy thoughts of the cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie ingredients that I was going to buy so I could make those things for our fellowship Thanksgiving potluck. But when I arrived, the parking lot was completely packed, and traffic was so thick that I actually had to stop on the street, the busy street, before I could even pull into the parking lot. And whoosh, just like that, all of my happiness was gone. Away went my daydreams of pie, and instead I found myself fantasizing about developing telekinetic powers so I could just sort of shove all the other cars aside with my mind. So maybe you've been there yourself at some point before, happy until some kind of minor frustration or distraction just sips in, popping your joy like a soap bubble. You know, happiness can be so fleeting, right? And when it fades, we are quick to chase after it again. You know, I'm reminded of a story by the 18th century rabbi who one morning found himself watching people rushing to and fro in the town square. And surprised, he stopped a man and he asked him, "Why are you running?" And the man replied, "To make a living." And then the rabbi asked, "Are you sure that the living you seek is up in front of you and you have to chase it? Maybe it's behind you, trying to catch up." So often in life, we are like that, chasing after our happiness. You know, we find it and then it fades away and then we go looking for it again. And here in the United States, we especially cherish this behavior. We call it the pursuit of happiness, and it's right there in our Constitution as one of our enshrined rights. Now, there's an interesting term for this cycle of finding happiness and then losing it again. That term is hedonic adaptation. And it's a natural tendency that we all have as human beings to return to some kind of like baseline level of happiness despite life's many ups and downs. For example, you might eat a really fantastic meal, or maybe you enjoy a wonderful conversation, or perhaps you receive some kind of amazing gift. If you are one of our kids here today, maybe you get a really cool toy or game that you've been wanting for a long time, and at first you are so happy. You experience this new height of happiness, but eventually that moment passes. And we human beings adapt to the presence of that thing in our lives. We get used to it. And the happiness that it once gave us fades a little bit, and we go back to our normal, everyday level of happiness. And it doesn't take long then before we are off again, chasing down the next happy feeling and the next after it. We might feel grateful along the way, but as happiness fades, maybe we kind of lose track of what we should be grateful for. And that's not if we are, too busy rushing after the next source of our happiness to appreciate the good things that we already have. Now, fortunately, there are actually two different kinds of happiness. There is another kind of happiness that is more lasting, and it is called eudaimonic well-being. Eudaimonic, new word for us today. And it is contrasted with hedonic well-being. And we'll explore those two ideas together here in a moment soon, but first let's go ahead and pause as we do here today and to sing before returning to our sermon. The song we're singing right now is going to be 128, For All That Is Our Life. And let's go ahead and sing just the first verse for now. Go ahead and rise and body your spirit. This is a time to go old-fashioned, enjoy the simple pleasures of a hymnal in your hands. It's number 128 in your gray hymnal. So it turns out that researchers have identified two different kinds of happiness. Hedonic well-being is the temporary kind of happiness that we are most familiar with, but there's also something called eudaimonic happiness. And I heard about these two ideas in a podcast interview with Dr. Robert Waldinger, who is the director of the world's largest and longest-running scientific study on happiness. It's been going on for 87 years now and is moving into the second generation of people that it's studying. And he explains the difference between hedonic and eudaimonic well-being and what they have to do with happiness. And he says the research is showing that there is a kind of happiness that they call hedonic well-being. It comes from the word hedonism, and it's like, am I having fun right now? Now, the other kind of happiness is called eudaimonic well-being, and it refers to the sense that life is good, that life is meaningful. And so having fun and doing something that we care about are two different flavors. Everybody wants some of both, some sense of moment-to-moment goodness and some sense that my life has meaning. And then he offers a powerful example of how these two ideas play out. One of his friends is a mother with a small child, and every night she reads Goodnight Moon to her daughter. And her daughter loves to hear Goodnight Moon over and over and over and over again. And by the seventh time, Mom is exhausted. Is Mom having fun? No, she is not having fun, but she finds that part of her day incredibly meaningful, and it is something that she really wants to do with her daughter. And she is happy then because she is experiencing, even though she's experiencing low hedonic well-being in her life at that moment, because she is experiencing high eudaimonic well-being. Now, none of this is to say that hedonic well-being isn't valuable in our lives, or that we don't have reasons to be grateful for the momentary happiness that comes in and out of our lives now and then. The word well-being is actually part of the term hedonic well-being, in fact, for a reason. And those momentary joys help spice up our lives, and so they're worthy of our gratitude. But our gratitude can also help us tap into that more lasting, deeper joy. There's a Benedictine monk whose work I've really been enjoying lately. We'll hear more about him probably actually next month when we get into the topic of hope. His name is Brother David Steindl-Rast, and he draws an important distinction between happiness and joy that I think is valuable for us to hear. He says, we say we want to be happy, but we want to be happy with a happiness that lasts. And we are well aware that happiness cannot last. So we have to find the happiness that lasts, and that happiness I call joy. And we can find that because we can find joy even in the midst of unhappiness. When you think about gratitude, people often think, oh yeah, when something nice happens, of course I'm grateful. But grateful living is to be grateful at all times, no matter what happens. That means that reaping the joy that comes from gratefulness all times, but also in the midst of suffering. We are often encouraged to live in the moment if we want to find some peace and happiness in our lives. But the moment can be something really small, or it can be something really big. Our small moments are limited to our most immediate experiences right here in the here and now. 1 minute you're happy, that's one moment. The next moment, along comes frustration, and you're unhappy. It's kind of like the comic where one person says to the other, I want to live in the moment, just not this moment. But there's a bigger moment, one that expands beyond our most immediate experiences or circumstances, and that moment has a much wider context. If we pause and open our hearts and our minds to that bigger moment, then we become aware of the broader reality that we are immersed in, life in all of its fullness. And we will explore that topic again a little bit more here soon. But we're going to go ahead and pause and sing again before we do. We're going to sing just the second verse of our hymn this time, and go ahead and please remain seated. So gratitude doesn't just help us to become more aware of life's fullness, it also trains us to notice that life's gifts are already all around us, even when times are really, really hard. Gratitude does not magically turn the bad things in our lives suddenly into good things, but it does help us to become more aware of how life's goodness actually coexists with the more painful parts of life. As the saying goes, we can't be grateful for everything, but we can be grateful in everything. And there's a story that illustrates this idea of finding good in the bad. It is shared by author Janice Kaplan. And years ago, she met a woman who had experienced just about the worst loss that a person could possibly experience, the death of her 3 children in a car accident when she went the wrong way on a road. And the woman was in a absolutely deep depression. And yet, in their conversation, she spoke to Janice at great length about her gratitude for her friends who came to her every single day in her grief, and they surrounded her with care. And her words struck with Janice, who posed the question, if somebody in that position can use the word gratitude, then who can't? It's similar to what Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood once said. He said, when I was a boy and would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. Our immediate circumstances are wider when we look beyond them. And that's what gratitude can do for us. It pulls our attention up and away from our immediate pain or our immediate pleasure, and it shows us the full picture, all of life's up and downs, and the things that make our lives easier to bear when there is pain in them. And it shows us momentary pleasures as well as the things that we find most meaningful and lasting. So then let's go ahead and revisit my earlier story about my trip to the grocery store. So this story thankfully does not actually end with me thinking very unministerial thoughts at my fellow shoppers. I have a little practice that in times like that can help me if I remember to do it. And because I was working on these sermons on the topic of gratitude, I actually remembered the practice and I was able to use it. So yes, I was in a rush, but I decided to pause. And since the parking lot was so busy, I knew that I couldn't go anywhere anyway, so there was no point in sitting there and being impatient, so I paused. And then I asked myself, what is it about this current situation that I might actually have cause to be grateful for? And then I started thinking about things like the fact that I have a car, because not everyone does, and that makes life easier for me. I had enough money to buy groceries. I was about to buy pie ingredients to share with this faith community at our potluck. And once I got going, it got kind of hard actually for me to stop. I was sort of having fun with this. So soon I was reminding myself that my fellow shoppers and I were all there to get some nourishing food for our bodies and our souls, food that fuels us for all the good things in our lives and that gives us strength to get through the hard stuff. And I thought about all of the people who would be breaking bread with loved ones, maybe on Thanksgiving, maybe just at home, nourishing not just their bodies, but also their relationships with other people in their lives, and how good that was for them as well as for the world. And by the time I finally parked my car, I found that my perspective had shifted. It had widened from a sense of, some kind of whiny first world woes to a fuller reality. My mind shifted with it from impatient and stressed to, at peace and kind of quietly touched. So my friends, happiness can expand into joy when we allow ourselves to open up to life's fullness. Amidst the ups and downs of life, there are sources of deeper and more lasting blessing. So next time we find ourselves racing off in pursuit of the next happy moment, may we pause. May we notice life's many gifts that are already there around us, within us, and may we offer joyful thanks. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Now let's go ahead and rise one more time. We're going to sing the final 2 verses of our song together.
Before we close, I'd like to draw your attention to our Minutes for Ministries. This is the time when we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help us stay engaged with our community beyond our Sunday services. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcement. If you didn't receive your service auction statement via an email last week, please send us an email. You can find the email address printed on the back of your order of service. Payment is due by December 31st. You can pick up items at the service auction table next Sunday or by arrangement. We can also accept payment there and answer your questions. Thank you for your generosity. Now, any newcomers with us today are invited to fill out a welcome card and to help you get connected with us. You can also talk to our welcome ambassador who would love to meet you and answer any questions. Look for the gold sash. Okay. If you have questions about religious education, please talk to our religious education ambassador who is wearing a green sash. Anyone needing a caring presence this morning will find a compassionate listening ear with one of our lay care associates. You'll recognize them by their blue sashes. If today's welcome ambassador, lay pastoral care associate, and religious education ambassador are here in the service with us, please stand so we can see you. Okay, there they are. We have several great activities for you every week, and this week join us in the following. On Wednesday, there is mindfulness meditation. On Thursday, our children's choir or adult choir. On Saturday, for our holiday movie and cookie exchange. And next Sunday, for our science and spirituality discussion group, our December Community Day, and our child care helper training for ages 5 and up. And today is our monthly Community Day. Join us during social hour for a fun for all ages activity to help us get to know each other, and then sit down for a post-Thanksgiving meal provided by Diana Hart and our Green Apron team. Wow, that sounds fantastic. Full details about these and many other activities can be found on the back of your order of service and our weekly e-newsletter or on our website at muuf.org. We're running a little late today, so do we have time for people to come up? Oh, okay, all right. So now I open the mic to announcements from our ministry teams and committees. Please keep your announcements to 1 minute or less. And we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. We had intended to offer an online course for young people, a biochemistry for literacy for kids, developed by a friend of ours, Dr. Daniel Fried, who got his PhD from Yale in biochemistry. Anyway, it's a wonderful online course. We're seeking enrollment. I think the target age would be 11 to 17, but if you're younger than 11 and have an interest, we'll certainly interview you. And that will starting in the beginning of January, running into June. And there's 24 lessons, and an hour and a half each, 6 p.m. on Sunday evenings. We'd love to get 4 young people from the fellowship. That will give us the threshold of 5 to run the course. And we have, myself, Gaborkis, and we'll have another adult online. So we'll have 2 adults online all the time. We'll follow the UU strictures for religious education classes. Thanks to the endowment, we have scholarships available. So if you haven't got the means to, it's not free, but if you haven't got the means to cover it, talk to us about that as well. Thanks. If you know any young people, we can take young people from outside the fellowship as well. So if you have any young people that you have a connection to, we'd love to have them join us. Thanks. We can take up to 15. So, oh, whoops, there you go. Might as well take the place down. Okay. Thank you.
I am Charlotte Walwork, and I am a member of the middle school youth group. This month we are running the Giving Tree. The Giving Tree is in the Wilson Family Welcome Gallery, not the Great Hall this year. Please donate by December 7th. Thank you for your support.
I have an announcement and a slide to go with it. As Beverly said, our Community Sunday is afterwards. I've heard from several folks, in fact, I was having a conversation, some of our older folks said, I don't know how to approach these new families. I don't know who to sit with, all that stuff. And ironically, I talk to the new families, and they go, I don't know how to approach these old folks or who to sit with. So we're going to split you up. Here's how it's going to work today. You're going to pick your favorite Thanksgiving food, and you're going to sit at that table. And that may not be with your family, Charlotte. But, and you're going to sit with them, and there's questions on there to get conversation going, but you can talk about whatever you want, talk about Thanksgiving or stuff, but I encourage that everyone sitting at a table have a conversation together. I'll put the slide in the Great Hall, or in Chew Hall as well. So your favorite one, and then you can sit at a table. Okay.
This one's about book club. I'm back. I'm here to tell you about middle school book club. Book club is for grades 6th through 9th. This month we are reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Our discussion will be on January 22nd from 7th to 8th p.m. Thank you.
I'll do a quick 15-second thing. Looking for anybody that wants to get a small workout. We have some new soft seating. Thank you to the endowment funds for having that happen. The soft seating is coming into the family room on Tuesday. So I got 2 sofas that we're looking to bring up to the 2nd floor, maybe 3rd floor if we even have the strength for it to get ready for that to happen. So anybody feel like, getting a little bit of a workout, hopefully your back's in good shape, come find me and we'll make that happen.
All right, it's time now for us to bring our time of worship to a close, but although we extinguish this chalice flame, its light will continue to burn in our hearts. As we go out into our daily lives, I leave you with the words of the Reverend Charles A. Howe. May we go forth from this place thankful for the life that sustains and renews us and open to the grace that surrounds and surprises us. May we go forth from this place with openness and with thanksgiving. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace. And just a quick heads up, I've noticed that we have the wrong order of service printed. I believe that one that you have says gratitude and reciprocity, which is last week's order of service. Correct me if I'm incorrect on this. Oh, okay. You have the right one. I have the wrong one. Lovely. Never mind then. I will not be giving you a replacement. All right. Go in peace.